Have you ever considered using an iPad Pro to develop AWS Cloud solutions? Hello, Datum Nation. If you're new to this channel, I'm Dr. Kev of Datum Based. I'm a machine learning expert with more than 12 years' experience. I am passionate about teaching you how to build machine learning solutions in the AWS Cloud. In the intro video to this channel, I mentioned that I was going to try to use an iPad Pro that I just purchased to take this and teach this masterclass. Spoiler alert, the iPad Pro is still not ready for prime time. I ran into a few snags, and I'm going to walk through those snags in this video. If you like this content, please subscribe. This way you'll get notified as I release new videos in this series that teaches you how to build machine learning solutions in the AWS Cloud. Let's stop consuming and start creating. Cue the music. I've been using my 2013 MacBook Air for development for the last 7 years. It has been a great machine, however, as of late, the screen has been starting to flicker, and the form factor doesn't fit to my lifestyle anymore. To be honest, I've been waiting for the iPad to become more of a laptop replacement for a while now. And with this generation of iPad Pro that was just released last September, I feel like we might be there. It's a lot faster, the form factor is fantastic, and now it has a keyboard. They've even upgraded the software so there's more of an iPad iOS rather than the traditional iPhone. I do a lot of my work in the cloud, so I really thought this was going to be sufficient, because I don't need a lot of horsepower in my laptop or iPad or whatever I'm doing development on. The only pieces of software that I use locally are VSCode to write my code and do local development and then deploy to the cloud, and then I also use iMovie to generate these movies for YouTube. So the real remaining question is, on the iPad, is there an IDE, a development environment, that is available that meets all of my needs? I use VS Code on my laptop, however, there is no VS Code for the iOS yet. There are 3 alternatives that I explore in this video. The first alternative is VSCode Server, and this is developed by a company called Coder. The server version is an open source version of their product. And it's where you can go to a GitHub repo and pull it down and ramp it up on an AWS server. This way the VS Code is running in the cloud, and then you can access it through the Chrome browser. Because they've built this as like an extension to VS Code, some of the packages aren't available. And it actually turns out that the AWS Toolkit that we need to develop serverless solutions in the AWS Cloud, which is what we focus on a lot in machine learning because we don't want to have to maintain our own servers, isn't available in VS Code Server yet. So therefore, this environment just didn't work for me. The second IDE that I tried was Code Editor by Panic Labs. And this editor can be purchased from the Apple Store and works directly on the iPad locally. The interface was really great, everything was really smooth. However, this code editor that runs on the iPad doesn't have the AWS Toolkit as well. So therefore, it's out. It's not going to work for us. The third option that I found was AWS has their own inline browser editor called Cloud9. Cloud9 has AWS Toolkit pre-installed. You can ramp up an EC2 server that it runs on with just a few clicks. Everything was really, really clean on a desktop and really easy to use, and I really liked it. I felt like this was going to be the winner. However, when I tried to access it on my iPad, that's when things got really buggy. The new iPad OS in Safari runs desktop browser. However, there are some bugs when trying to run Cloud9. The touch in trying to resize windows didn't always work. Sometimes it took me a really long time. When I clicked on files over in the left pane, a lot of times they didn't even open, so I couldn't even edit the files. And then also when I opened a file, sometimes I couldn't even scroll down through it. Whenever I used this on the desktop, everything was fine. So I think it's just the integration with the iPad. So because of this bugginess, it looks like Cloud9 is out for iPad development. Sadly, the iPad Pro had to be returned because the IDEs and the IDE toolkits just aren't there yet. So I'm now back to using my 2013 MacBook Air. I'm hoping it holds out for a little bit longer so that these companies can build out the IDE and IDE toolkits. Maybe by the time it crashes, they'll have these built out and I can actually switch over to the iPad Pro. Hit subscribe below if you want to be notified as I release new videos in this series. My next video is going to be on setting up the AWS account, setting up users in the account, and setting up billing alerts so we can monitor the account so we don't exceed a certain amount. I set mine to $20, however, we're really targeting $0 in this course because we're going to be using a lot of the free tier. Thanks so much for subscribing, watching. See you next time.